Hello everyone, Kurt Olfer here and welcome back to another episode from Hellfighter Labs. Today we continue on with one more play in regards to the counter mechanisms of the First Master Dagger. And it's a special one right here that, in my opinion, once again, ties back to a similar consideration that we saw within the dagger stripping, where we come up and we strip it across. We see that in First and we see that in Fourth Master Dagger. We're going to review that a little bit today about how, once again, that might be things right here where we're attacking similar areas on a person and allowing them to be able to make the shapes that we need in order to be able to perform this technique. So with that being the case here, let's get into what we see here and see how those things tie together.
Okay, so this week here, we're going to be looking at another rotational position right here. And it's a play in which where, once again, Fiore states that he does not abandon the Sixth Master Dagger parry, which to me, all that I think that really means is the stopping mechanism right here. Is from this right here, I'm going to, whatever position I'm in, I'm going to maintain that grip like this and perform off of that. That's what I think is happening with that. So I'm not changing up anything. I'm not going back to something here. It's like I've made that cover and I'm going to play off of that cover there, and I have to let go of my left hand to do anything. This week right here is also going to be kind of shouting back once again to a First Master and Fourth Master cover play where we talk about a disarm that happens. What we're talking about right here is if the dagger comes in with here, we make the shape off of this, and then we came to the portion where we came up and then we turn the dagger in towards this way. Now, the reality is, I'm going to bring this down so I can grab his wrist. The reality is, as I come like this right here, if he resists me, he may or may not actually get this out of his hand unless I put the entirety of my body into that. This is where, once again, we're looking at the handle position. So this week, because what this is doing here is it's turning the dagger into this form and fashion. Why I see these as a similarity thing here is because when we get to the Sixth Master portion, is ideally what you're doing here is you're turning the dagger away with this, with your hand. And I can once again put the point into his arm if he doesn't comply with this, again. If he doesn't let go of this, I can still put this right into his bicep. That really sucks. And that'll give my ability to take this out of his hand. What that means to me is, now, I'm sorry, for Sixth Master Dagger, it is the opposite direction. And what that means to me is, instead of going into it away, I've made the cover with Sixth Master, I have to go the other way. So if you're looking at the image right here, if I go that way, the dagger goes into my face and there's still a lot of stuff here that becomes a danger. Remember, put yourself behind the blow. So shot comes in, up this way. If I go the way, from the original one, this is the direction that the dagger goes. If I choose to go this way with it, that dagger just passed right by my face. And if he's very strong, he might nick me. There might be other things. And if I do get to this point right here where I get a disarm, my foot's right there. There's a possibility that that dagger hits me in the foot and causes me to get disrupted, which gives him an opportunity to take action. Instead, what happens is, off the cover, we come right here. I turn this up and away. So off of this right here. So instead of having this pass right here in flight, I'm going to put this away as fast as possible. Remember, take the dagger away. And from here, I'm going to bring this in. Now, my dagger is right there into the bicep, just like with the image. And if we turn around, we may actually see here that the image is probably showing this where the fingers are on the line like this. So that's what's happening here. So from this, I cover in, come this way, I'm going to strip this out of his hand. And now I can go right back into stabbing at him. So ultimately, that's what we're talking about as far as the Mandrito side here. So again, off that cover comes in here, right? I'm going to turn this, I'm just going to take my dagger here, I'm going to turn it upwards so I box it out. Boom, up. Dagger's away immediately right here. My point is very close to his forearm. And from here, if I have to, I can turn with this right here. If he doesn't let go, that's already locking up his arm. That sucks. But if he does let go, it's right there in place. The dagger goes away from me, away from the conflict, and allows me to do the stuff that I have to do in that kind of conflict of ours. Off the revezzo. So here, shot comes here. Again, all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn up and over. And again, we make the same shape where I rotate this around. Since this is the dagger point, I'm going to turn and bring it up. And it pops right out. Not saying that it would that in a real situation, but again, like that's you're turning it away. Get the thing behind you, okay? In a low line, This is where, once again, it gets complicated. I come in right here. So if I turn into this right here, one, this is right here, that's probably my teeth. Instead, I see this as, if I come this way right here, I see this as an abridgment of also turning in, like we said before, where I turn this and I stab the person into the chest with the dagger. Plays from earlier on in the week. This is just utilizing that same kind of thing where I turn, put the point on line, but this time I'm attacking his arm and I'm taking things out of play. And what I mean by that is, as we come into this, when I go like this, one of the first things that happens right here is, you can imagine, if everything within Fiore, it automatically is, if there's an elbow, push it, which we'll talk about next week. In this case right here, essentially off of this, I take his counter mechanism out of way, which is to push my arm. So I come right here, if he just shoves me, I'm in a bad spot. So I take that away from him, pop up. And then from this position, off of this, that dagger's right here in the meat of his bicep. If this is his armor, I don't give a damn. I can put him in a lock. There's other things I can do here, but ultimately here, I'm just gonna flip this out and then get it out of the way. So that's the big thing about this cover right here that I think is very important. I'm not saying that the first and fourth Master Dagger, where we're going to create that taking and stripping the dagger away is the thing. Well, we are attacking that because as it comes back, you're still coming off of the pinky side, the easier portion right here to kind of get through out of that, right? But you're also attacking the wrist. The point here is, when I come up and under, I push the dagger away from me. I take the point off away from me as fast as possible. Here, I rotate it over to the other side, where I still not, one, I might be hitting him with his own dagger, but I'm also stabbing him to be able to create the space with my point. And that concludes right here. That's the last play with the Sixth Master right here in regards to how to strip the dagger away by not abandoning the Sixth Master cover.
So you can see with the video that, once again, now when I talk about disarming and we talk about backhanding the blade here and coming across, though that's working on the inside of a person's play. Now, to me, if I don't have anything in my hand, that makes a lot of sense because the dagger's right here. I'm trying to move this away. I don't want to go this way into it because there's a stopping point that I can't go with. But with moving my hand around, I have the ability to go. And that was off of the first, and that's off of first and fourth Master Dagger covers, where we talk about the stripping and how we might stab in the arm or take the dagger away and then stab them with their own tool. This, when you make the cover of Sixth Master, you don't have the time, and that by turning, the idea is to get the dagger offline as fast as possible. Remember, take the dagger away. As I take the dagger away, I can drive my own dagger into your forearm. If it's long enough, because some rondelles are horrendously long, I can also lock and create a fourth Master lock in there, which is also horrific. I don't think it says anything about making a lower lock off of that, but that's just something right here that I kind of saw where if I had a longer dagger, or if I maybe miss the bicep, I get to the inside of the guy's arm, I can squeak and pop over here and cause this immense pain in the person. It's probably even worse if you grate across the bicep first. Again, just observations with it. The other part that I really think that's really kind of cool about this is once again, another play where Fiore states, I perform this without abandoning the cover of Sixth Master. This states, once again, that I am not talking about just, okay, I'm covering up this way right here, and I'm going to move right off the way. It's, again, I have context. I am not abandoning this cover. I keep it on the play, and I'm working from that right there to cause the angulations that I need to do. And that right there is it's most effective. As you saw in the video, one of the other things, too, that's also very important about this is that by stripping this right here, it makes the dagger go away from me towards them, which, if the person's attacking me, I really don't care about them anymore, away from them so that the dagger, if it falls, it won't hit you. Every time we do this right here, we always, Connor and I will run through like, hey, what's the play? How do we do this right here? Just one more time, just so we can refresh, because there's a lot that's in here. And remember, as the Maestro says, it's impossible to hold a quarter of the knowledge in the mind with the best of memories without books. And, I might have an idea of what this is, but at the same time, too, always refer to books. Always know what you're working with in this. So with that being the case, when we're off camera, I went in and I came across this way, which I thought was the same way, which worked off of the backhanding shot of first and fourth Master covers, but from a Sixth Master grip. Dagger fell right in my foot. Ouch. Luckily, it was a wooden one, and I say wooden one like that's supposed to make it better, but it's better than it not being a rondelle dagger that is metal or a trainer in that regard, which is a huge context piece that's very important. A lot of these actions too, when we talk about stripping or pulling daggers away, as it's falling, your feet are still in play and so are your opponents. So in other words, you're not, where this thing falls, if you hurt your foot, if you get your avizamento to redirect a pain somewhere else in your own body, then the covering mechanism that you may have just done right there may become suspended or broken. We don't know. But it's just considerations there. Always make sure that you know to clear the dagger away from you to make sure that it falls away. Because what happens, that was the handle that hit. Imagine the dagger went right there and just pinned your foot right into the ground. Not a good day, especially if you're trying to protect yourself out there within this time period. So I think that's very interesting to look at this right here, and it's a huge part about the practice is where you put the dagger is a part of your avizamento. So with that being the case here, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Again, I love these plays where you stay on there and you rotate and move into different directions. I think they're fantastic. And in many ways, I think that they also very, very, very much so talk about, they lend themselves so much, and they'll come later on when in armor plays, they lend themselves so much into the concepts right here about how you come this way and you might hook and turn into different directions from a sword that's being halved. All sorts of different things that come into this. And that's the part right there that's so incredibly fascinating because you're learning it here and now on the micro scale, and eventually it expands outward into other things. And those are both very, very, very prominent and very, very important because the plays don't change, the movement doesn't change that much. The tool shortens, which means that the play slightly adjusts to accommodate that direction. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, as always, everybody, please continue to like and subscribe, share with friends out there. Thank you so much for the support. Dear viewers and subscribers, it's been wonderful. I hope that you're enjoying this content out there. Would love to hear some thoughts about this, what your plays with the Sixth Master have been. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We'd love to have you here. Please also share with the friends, like, subscribe, and also don't forget, hit that bell out there to make sure that you get when new content comes in here. Love saying this stuff out here. I'm excited to share more stuff about this practice when it comes down to arm and sari. Dagger's a lot of fun, and I think it needs a lot of attention because the reality is we all love the sword, but there's so much stuff about the dagger that helps us understand the sword and later place so much more if we focus on it. So I'm loving doing this right here and being able to carry on forward with it. So until the next time, everybody, as always, please stay safe out there, train well, and fight on. I'll see you all soon.